Hello friends, welcome to Learning Autocad 2013. In this first tutorial you will be introduced to the Autocad interface. Everyone opens up Autocad most likely by double clicking the icon on the desktop, or you can go to all programs also, but in this case we'll double click it, and while it is opening, let's talk about what is Autocad. Autocad refers to computer aided design and drafting. It's the process of using a computer with CAD software to design and produce drawings and models according to specific industry standards. So whenever we talk about AutoCAD, we're referring to this software. In this case, whenever you open AutoCAD for the first time, by default you receive a welcome screen. This welcome screen that you can see here can be turned off by uncheck the display at startup box. In my case, I'll leave it there. And basically the welcome screen is divided in three columns. The first one, which is the work, it has several options, three options here: new, open, and open sample files. If any previous work is being done in AutoCAD, it should be here different file names. However, we have here another column, Learn and Extend. Both of them refer to Autodesk online help. So if you need, for example, model documentation or customization, seeing drawings, seeing AutoCAD, and so on and so forth, you should click here and be connected to the internet. Close it and let's go directly to the screen that by default comes up in AutoCAD. Here you will be having a different set of options. This is your interface for AutoCAD. This is called the model space. Technically, the model space, this black screen here, is infinite in AutoCAD. So you can draw here the entire world. But our advice always is you should draw at actual scale. So if you're drawing for a construction company and you're drawing a house, with inches and feet, you should draw at 6 feet 6 inches, so on and so forth. If you're drawing for a mechanical company or an aerospace company, and you're drawing in millimeters or something like that, you should draw at that scale. So in AutoCAD you always draw at actual scale. Let's go ahead and show you the different features of AutoCAD and how you interact with those features. Right in here at the left top corner, we have the application menu button. Whenever you click in here, you will have this little window with a set of commands or actions that are common to any Windows program, like new, open, save, or quick save, in this case save as. But there are others which are typical of AutoCAD and are not common to all the programs. You can always close the AutoCAD, shut it down by hitting close here, or here exit AutoCAD, or most people do it going to the close here. Okay, so you already know how to open and close AutoCAD. This is, as I told you, just remember application menu button. Right next to it you have what is called the quick access toolbar. This quick access toolbar is the same as this menu here. So you have here new, open, quick save or save, save as, and so on and so forth. Undo, redo, print. But right next to it you have the workspace tab. These workspace tabs refers to your working area. Whenever you see a little triangle like this, that means that you have a drop down menu. Let's click here and you see that by default we have here drafting and annotation. This is our working space right now. You can also work in 3D or three-dimensional basics, three-dimensional modeling, AutoCAD Classic, which refers to 2000 or before that. So you can go to the environment you want to. In our case, we're keeping the default, which is drafting and annotation. Okay, right next to it we have the AutoCAD window title bar. As you can see here, it says AutoCAD 2013 Drawing 1. This means that your drawing is named by default Drawing 1. Okay, let's go ahead and click. You can click here and go and save or save as. I prefer to go here, which is faster, and you click here, save, and we will write first project, and we will reference to we'll save it at the desktop. Okay, so right now it changed from AutoCAD 2013 to first project.dwg. Right next to it you have the info center, and whenever you do something here, it's going to provide you with some information. Look for it, and right close to it is you should be accustomed to this: minimize, maximize, and close. Okay, this is one of the most important parts here, which is called the ribbon. And this ribbon, on top of the ribbon, you can see the tabs: Home tab, Insert tab, Annotate, Layout, which every one of these tabs are specifically intended for AutoCAD, and of course have a set of commands which are basically for different things. Like, for example, this first one to draw, this second one to modify, and so on and so forth. So each of these ones are commands. Let's go ahead and click line. As you can see, close to your cursor you have a little which is called tooltip. It says specify first point. So it's talking to you in other ways. So you click, this is my first point, and it's going to, as you can see, is going to tell you specify next point, and you see there that the same thing that we're having in the crosshair, you can read it right down here: line, specify next point, or undo. Okay, whenever you go out of the regular screen, which is the model screen, the crosshair turns into the regular, as you can see here, pointer or mouse. Whenever you go in, is going to be the regular crosshair. Okay, so let's say this is our second point, and now AutoCAD is asking you what you want to do next point or finish. If you click here, for example, right click, or you hit enter in your keyboard, is going to end the line. So you have here a line. Let's hit escape to unselect, and as I mentioned before, this is infinite, this model space, you see. So you scroll, you zoom in or zoom out with your mouse, and okay, so let's erase for now this little line. You can select it and delete it with your keyboard. You can select it, right click, and erase it. Let's go undo so you can see there are different ways in AutoCAD to do the same thing. When you select it, you right click, and it's going to give you a set of options: erase, move, copy, whatever you want to do with that thing. In our case, we want to erase it, and it's done. A very important thing is here down you have what is called the command line. This command line is a means for AutoCAD to communicate to you. You can type. Okay, let's try the same thing without going ahead and click the line command. I'm going to use my L in the keyboard. As you can see, AutoCAD now is giving me a set of options by default, and this is new for AutoCAD 2013. As you can see, I have here the L. AutoCAD is giving me all that is related to L. L for line, LA for layer, large object support, LAS for layer state, and so on and so forth. Okay, so a set of options. In my case, I type L and hit enter, and the same command line. So you have several ways to do the same thing. You can go ahead and click line here, or you can type in your keyboard a shortcut and hit L enter, and now it's the same thing. It's asking you, you can look there to the command line and you click there, and he's saying to you now specify next point. You see, and we're doing the same thing. You right click after you complete your line, you hit enter, and your line is done there. So this is a very useful way to, let's delete it, and this is a very useful way to communicate with AutoCAD through the command line, or you can go ahead and click actually the commands, the icons. There's a lot, there's literally tons of commands which are not in the ribbon, and this is the ribbon. So it's very useful for you to learn those commands, but it's gonna be time for that later. Okay, let's now talk about this thing here. You can see this XY coordinate system. This is called the UCS in here. UCS stands for Universal Coordinate System, and basically most likely you remember from school the X and Y axis. Well, we're working here in two-dimensional, it's a two-dimensional system. We're working in the X direction and the Y direction, and AutoCAD is based on that. So if you see, for example, a 5,8, that means 5 units on the X direction, 8 units in the Y direction. So right now it's not that important, but whenever you're introduced to AutoCAD 3D modeling, then the C axis appears there, and it's going to be a little bit more complicated, but for now we're okay. Okay, right in here you're introduced to another pop-up, another window, small window, and you see conceptual, hidden, realistic, and so many other options. We're actually by default into the wireframe, which means that you can create several things here. You only gonna be looking at lines, not actual shapes. So we're creating lines here, and very important, this is what is called the navigation bar. You can navigate through your screen, in this case through your model space, through this navigation panel or bar here. Okay, this is the model space when you actually model or draft your plans or whatever you're doing. Right in here you see here it says model. Let's click next to it and you have a different thing. This is called a layout 1 here, layout 2. Whenever you open up a new drawing from scratch, by default in AutoCAD comes up with 2 layouts. A layout means that this is a paper. This is called paper space. You can look down here and see it says paper space in the status bar. Okay, this is technically, so you can understand, a cutout through a sheet and looking to your model space. So basically when you look through this to the model space, you can plot, you can print here whatever you draw there. So this is your actual sheet of paper which is going to be printed in your printer, but this is for next thing. We're not going to concentrate now in here. Let's go back to our model space. For now, I think this is it, folks. It's very important for you to go ahead and practice so you can learn. There's no magic in here. If you want to learn AutoCAD, you need to go ahead and click line, polyline, circle. Later we'll be talking about all these commands and I'll be teaching you that, but you need to go ahead and practice on your own. Okay, just remember, if you like it, subscribe to the video, and at the same time keep looking at the rest of our tutorials.